Hey, Elon. I'm John, or Dr. Know-It-All on YouTube, and I don't know it all. But anyway, my question is, as you guys move completely or finish the transition in full self-driving from version 1.0 of the software to 2.0, what do you perceive of as the potential stumbling blocks after that? Because it seems like that's the major, kind of step change that needed to happen, and so you're almost done with that, and what happens after that? And also, please let me interview you about full self-driving. I'll spend 2 hours talking to you about just that. So, thank you.
Well, one can really think about full self-driving as a sort of a march of nines of reliability. So we need to get to the point where the probability of injury is lower than that of the average human driver, and then ultimately probability of injury is much lower. So even at the point at which the car is capable of driving itself, there's still actually a lot of work to do. Because every year there's 1 million people that die in auto accidents. And I think probably everyone in this audience has friends and family that have died or been seriously injured in auto accidents. And for there's like 1 million people that die, there's 10 million people roughly that are seriously, permanently injured. And so it matters that if we can get that down by an order of magnitude, there's like 900,000 lives saved per year, maybe 9 million severe injuries prevented per year. And so that really, I think, morally has to be our primary goal. I guess I'm open to an interview on FSD. 2 hours is a long time, but okay. All right, I'll do an interview. It's got to be on Twitter, but sure. All right.
Elon, John Lopez from Orlando here. I've got two things for you real quick. The first one is with rideshare being a growing thing, especially with Tesla owners, are we going to get a guest mode option available for that? The second thing is as an X-Plaid owner, I would really love to get track mode.
As a what, sorry?
X-Plaid.
Well, Plaid has track mode.
The Model X Plaid does not, though.
Oh, Model X. Yeah, we can probably add that, sure. Yeah, no problem. So, rideshare is a bunch of these things will really not be relevant in a self-driving world. You can summon the car and take you somewhere, and if you want to add someone to that ride, you can if you want to. But overwhelmingly, it is about achieving self-driving, full self-driving. And I think we're really getting to the final stages of full self-driving where, I drove for several days around Austin, just dropping pins in random locations, and I had 0 safety interventions. So it's really, and even in the city of San Francisco, which is very complex, I haven't had a safety intervention in a long time. So I think it's getting to the point where, admittedly, I have been optimistic about this in the past, but I think this time. All right, I won't say it. All right, fair enough. All right. Okay, I think it'll happen, so.
I will say I have been driving FSD. My wife drives FSD. There's a term called the wife test. My wife will only drive our kids on FSD. It's incredible.
Okay. That is a great, the sort of significant other test is a very a good test. Because for a while there was like, friends or significant others would be like, please don't put it on. It's too scary. But then it's getting to the point where, it's going to be just smooth as silk. So in fact, you'll be able to visually tell, perhaps even now you can, visually tell if the car is being driven on FSD or manually, because if it's being driven on FSD, it's smooth and precise. And if you look at if you actually closely observe cars going down the highway, the people are constantly moving in their lanes. So the cars are like doing this all the time when they're manually driven. If it's actually on FSD, it's dead center in the lane. It will actually get to the point where it is not merely, and maybe is at that point, not merely safer than a person, but actually way smoother than manual driving. I can't say enough about the profundity of full self-driving. It is just one of the biggest changes in history that will occur. It's not some feature. it's like a profound. It's really as profound as electrification. And that we already have millions of the cars on the road that will literally achieve this with a software update. I mean, that's like head exploding emoji, you know? I think probably a lot of people in this room realize it, but most of the rest of the world doesn't. Yeah, so.
Given how incredible FSD is and how much merit you're giving to potential future margins of the car, as well as how much an impact on society, and given that they didn't even want you to say if it's going to happen this year, just not to jinx it.
Sure.
Would it be possible to have just for some type of public-facing, investor-facing kind of timeline, so that way you mentioned V12 is coming, and that's AI front end. Could we just see kind of a timeline on this is the version we're at? These are the things we're working on, and this is when we're, ETA. So we can kind of see that in real time instead of maybe Elon time.
No, so the thing that's been, really difficult with full self-driving is that it very often seems like it's about to happen until you realize that you're actually at a local maximum, and that you need to re-architect elements of the software to get out of the local maximum to then a higher local maximum. So it's been this sort of series of logarithmic curves. And that's why it's been like, it seemed like, if you just extrapolate this on a straight line, it gets to self-driving, except that it's not a straight line, it's a logarithmic curve, and it sort of, and you start hitting these like local maximums where you'll sort of asymptote to a certain capability and then have to re-architect things. So now I think we're finally at a high enough local maximum, or will be this year, where to the point where it is, I think, probably safer than a person, meaning the probability of injury on average will be better than a person, even if someone pays no attention to the car. It is worth saying that right now, for human supervised Tesla full self-driving, it is dramatically safer than manual driving. It's like, I think like 4 times safer, maybe more. So it is already a massive safety improvement to have human supervised FSD right now. And I think we will get to the point where we're always going to be in some amount of local maximum, but I think that we'll be in a local maximum that exceeds human level safety this year. Yeah, but I guess we'll see. So.